Here at the Liminality Institute, answering and asking questions. We love them. There's nothing better. So, what question did you have today?
I've been on a spiritual journey for years and years, most of my life, this lifetime for sure. But about 25 years ago, I started noticing a lot more energy, feeling a lot more energy coming in to my body. And one time it was very, very strong. And after that, I would notice a vibration in my body. And I kept thinking, well, this will go away. And it never really has gone away. I've just gotten used to it, my body vibrating. And no one can really tell. Sometimes I can see it in my hands, or clairvoyants often will see it, and they say I'm kind of like, my energy is kind of like a hummingbird or something, which I don't know. But I feel like it is sort of a process of some sort that I just have accepted. And do you have any ideas about that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. 20 years ago, the whole vibration of the planet went through some major changes, and so beings who are already running a lot of energy picked that up. So like the vibrational frequency field has been exponentiating, or basically turning up every year since then. And light workers and people who are holding the space are being affected by it very greatly, because it's very much like instruments in an orchestra. They're all playing off of each other, and the harmonics that are running through your body are repairing and re-energizing the earth itself. A lot of the work that light workers are doing right now is channeling these higher frequency harmonics and helping to anchor the earth where other beings who, for lack of a better term, are at various stages of evolution and they're getting ready to make jumps. Light workers are having to anchor it to help them make those jumps. In many ways, a lot of light workers are acting like rungs on a ladder right now in order to help other beings move to higher frequencies. Wow. And a big part of that is because we are all part of one harmonic, and so we can only rise into higher harmonics when other beings rise with us. And sometimes in order to do that, we have to become the vehicle for them to do it. So one of my favorite Buddhist sayings says, "May I be a bridge, a boat, a ship for all who wish to cross the water." And light workers have that vow. They come in with that vow, and they to understand that sometimes they are acting purely as a vehicle or a way for other beings to ascend so that greater harmonic can move on. It's a burden to bear as an energy worker and someone who is working with those frequencies, to have to hold that space. And a big part of it is to always recognize that our capabilities are really infinite. We just have to open up to it because we are children of infinites. Our body and our life is finite, but our body and our life are ripples on something that we are that's much larger. And so breath is really the most important thing, to always come back to your breath, because your breath will help anchor you. And when you are feeling really like flashing between worlds, you'll notice that your breath will be shallow.
Yeah.
And you're not having to try to breathe deep. Just being aware of your breath will naturally
ground you.
And you will start breathing deeply, but not because you're trying, because you're becoming aware of the breath. It'll just naturally slow down.
Yeah, and the nervous system can get really keyed up sometimes.
Yeah.
And ungroundedness, yeah.
Yeah, and it's also important to, when you're feeling something, not get too invested in what you're thinking about what you're feeling. Because most of the conclusions that we draw about our thoughts are wrong.
Right.
And
Yeah,
if
frame
you
of
just
reference,
focus on, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you focus on the feeling, then you're focusing on the energy. Because thought is more of a crystallization of the feeling. And it solidifies the feeling with a story. But the feeling itself is beyond a story. The feeling itself is just energy.
Just energy. Yeah.
And so, yeah,
And
just,
pure.
yeah, it's just pure. And staying present and understanding that sometimes energy, there's a line between awful and awesome, or terrific and terrible. But that line is gray. And it can go from being awesome to awful. And that does not mean that it was bad. And it doesn't mean that it was good when it was awesome. These are states of immensity. And light workers are learning to open up to those states and to ground.
And to handle them.
Mm-hmm. So the breath is the key, really, and staying present.
And staying present, yeah.
Because otherwise we can get so scattered over the past and the future, and then we're not grounded, and then the energy is very hard to bear.
And the energy, intensifies all that.
It does.
It does. And just walking around, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're
we'll
talking
be when we talk about walking meditation, that'll really
That'll help.
give you some new tools to dance with that. So I hope that helps.
That really did help. And, looking back, I mean, I've always been really grateful for it and to be that kind of a conduit, but it has been challenging.
It's hard and when years go by and you're holding a torch in a field where there's not a lot of people holding the torch to the level that you are.
But it's getting better. I mean,
It is.
We run into more and more people that understand, and they've been quietly doing it too.
Yes.
So that's very comforting.
And we're evolving. We're
Yes.
on the edge of a great evolution.
Yes, and I hope. I'm very hopeful there. I mean, that's why I'm doing it. I mean, that's okay. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.